Hello and thank you for joining us. Welcome to Newsroom series, this edition that covers the North Central. I am Bukola Koka. Our top stories. Nasarawa Governor inaugurates State University Governing Council. Kogi Governor commissions State University in Kaba. And Benue State Government seeks security for schools. Welcome once again. The former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Muhammadu Tahiru Jega, has been appointed as the chairman governing council of the Nasarawa State University, KEFI. Governor Abdullahi Sule, who inaugurated the governing council of the institution, says his choice of professionals to lead the governing council is to further entrench an enduring culture of academic excellence in the institution. Our correspondent Halima Gayam has the report. Academics, top government functionaries and other stakeholders have converged here at the executive chambers of the Government House in Lafia for the much anticipated inauguration of the State University's Governing Council. At the brief ceremony, Governor Sule starts by recalling the achievements of the institution in the areas of scholarship, teaching and research and infrastructural development. He adds that his administration appointed revered and astute personalities to serve on the governing board in order to consolidate on the gains recorded so far.
Today is yet another milestone in the history of Nasarawa State University, KEFI. This is because in over 2 decades of its establishment, the institution has recorded tremendous achievements in terms of scholarship, teaching and research, infrastructural development, social impacts, and worthwhile collaborations across borders. This has made the university to be one of the most enviable institutions in Nigeria.
He also urges the council to leap forward in order to support his vision of making the Nasarawa State University one of the best institutions in Nigeria.
I therefore enjoin the council to settle down and contribute your quota in making the institution more robust, professional, and academically sound, befitting the status of a 21st century university that is competitive and result-oriented. I'm also optimistic that given your pedigrees, you will initiate policies and programs that will further enhance the realization of the vision of this university.
Responding on behalf of the appointees, Professor Jega assures that the new governing council under his watch would work assiduously to achieve Governor Sule's objectives and aspirations. He also speaks on his motivation for accepting the appointment.
I have no doubt that your objective and aspiration is to turn the Nasarawa State University into the best university in Nigeria. And I am sure I speak for all the members of the Governing Council that we will do our best and leave no stone unturned in order to ensure that that aspiration of yours is achieved.
Other members of the Governing Council inaugurated alongside Professor Jega include Dr. Ahmed Jero, Alhaji Shaibu Kore, Mr. Thomas Ogiri, and Honorable Mary Enwogulu. And staying with education, Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State has advised Nigerians to take advantage of the newly introduced Students' Loan Scheme initiated by President Bola Tinubu to acquire the university education of their choice. Governor Bello stated this in Kaba during the official opening and maiden matriculation of students of the newly established Kogi State University, Kaba. Governor Bello notes that his vision for the establishment of a university in Kaba had been fulfilled and called on the people of the Western Senatorial District to take advantage of the institution to acquire a university education.
This is the maiden matriculation of the newly established Kogi State University in Kaba by Governor Yahaya Bello. He is accompanied by the governor-elect, Mr. Usman Ododo, to commission the institution. Traditional rulers, government officials, academicians, state lawmakers, families and friends are all in attendance. The Vice-Chancellor described the new institution as one that will focus on citizenship and leadership training.
One of our visions in Kogi State University is to beat the best and be the best. If you do what others are doing, at very best, you'll be like them. So to be the best, you have to do better than what they are doing. So we have decided to start small by placing at our cutoff mark at 160. Even with that one, we still had an avalanche of applications.
The chairman of the Kogi State Implementation Committee, Professor Olu Obafemi, in his goodwill message, said the governor has done well for the people of Kogi West.
Governor Yahaya Bello, CON, has, in fulfilling his promise to establish this university, has carved for himself a name indelibly on the wall of history.
About 1,200 students are matriculated, and each of them takes their oath to be of good behavior while in the institution.
Pursue my course of instruction in Kogi State University, Kaba.
An elated Governor Bello believes he's leaving the office a fulfilled person.
I had it at the back of my mind that before I leave, we are going to have a university here in Kaba. That vision has been fulfilled today. I want to simply appreciate each and every one of us. At the same time, I will admonish and advise. There are several of us who came and never made it to the end. But I thank God that I came hale and hearty, and I'm living fulfilled, hale and hearty.
The takeoff of academic activities in this institution shows that all 3 senatorial districts now host a state university, and the state government is hoping that this move would improve education in the state.
Primary school teachers in public schools across the 17 local government areas of Plateau State have embarked on an indefinite strike to press home their demands for a better welfare package and improved conditions of service. The teachers, in a notice of the commencement of the industrial action addressed to the Executive Chairman, Plateau State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, expressed concerns over government's inability to fulfill its agreement on promises reached with them. However, the executive chairman of SUBEB, Mr. Sunday Amuna, accused members of the National Union of Teachers of reneging on the previous agreement that the union will not embark on strike while negotiations into various issues are being addressed.
Primary school education is threatened in Plateau State, as teachers in public schools have jettisoned classrooms to stay at home for the commencement of an indefinite strike. According to the notice of the industrial action, all teachers in public schools are to embark on the indefinite strike until all the difficulties, humiliation and sufferings caused by the government are fully settled to create a conducive atmosphere for teaching in the state.
Up till as I'm talking to you, that has not been addressed. The government then promised that we should give them time. With time, they will update that or kind of upgrade. Up till as I'm talking to you. That's why if you look at the PVs, payment vouchers today, of all the workers in the state, those of teachers are the least. As I'm talking to you now. You know, so we feel they should kind of upgrade that or update that so that our salaries can go equal.
However, the state government is accusing the teachers of reneging the previous agreement, considering that the current government inherited most of the issues raised and efforts are on ground to address the issues.
And so I told them, you beg staff are coming for verification and resumption of school. So if you are still insisting on going on strike, I will ask them to stop. We had a back and forth discussion. Eventually, with the Algon, eventually they acceded that they will call off. And that was how I called, because I told them I had already signed out monies, close to ₦1 million. And I said, I don't want it to go down the drain. They accepted, only for them to come and renege by Monday that they were going, the strike still persists.
Though the schools are shut at the moment, negotiations and discussions are ongoing between the union and the state government's team with the hope of finding a solution to the issue.
And more on education, the Benue state government has appealed to the federal government to consider states like it, where public schools have been destroyed by insurgency, in the 2020 training and counterpart funding to include security funding so as to enable states to step up security in schools and rebuild them. Chairman of the State Universal Basic Education Board, Mrs. Grace Adagbo, made the call in Makurdi during the flag-off of staff verification exercises following the discovery of so many ghost schools and teachers by the state government.
These are out-of-school children who were forced out of many rural communities across Benue State by insecurity. The previous administration said that over 2,000 public schools were reconstructed. However, the level of destruction leaves little to desire.
Our state is one of the states that has been faced with insurgency that has affected the basic education sector. I'm using this medium to call on the federal government through the UBEC assistance programs to ensure that during the deployment of training funds and counterpart funds, they should include security funding in at least the states that are affected by insurgency, including Benue State.
A few weeks ago, Governor Aishan Alia raised concerns about the existence of ghost schools and teachers, and the board is taking action to address the issue through staff verification exercise.
And there are more ghost schools. There are more ghost schools. Sometimes I just take a drive, like we're going to some place, you know, have a long listing. And then I said, okay, we have so many primary schools in this place. Let me just start and ask. So I interact even with market women. I understand you have this school here. Can you just show me where it is? So they're hearing that for the first time from me.
The aim of the verification exercise is to cleanse the state's staff payroll and ascertain the actual workforce. The exercise is expected to also help the board check the unacceptable arbitrary deduction of its teachers' salaries.
On the verification exercise, as we enter into a particular local government, the software is able to let us know the number of staff that is being captured on the payroll system in that local government, and then after verifying them, the verified number will be increasing, while those that are yet to be verified will be reducing with time. So when we get a particular local government and we're able to verify everybody in that local government, then the unverified number should have been 0, meaning everybody in that local government have been successfully verified.
In the first phase of the exercise, the state government reported that about 2,500 ghost workers were uncovered across the 23 local government areas of the state, and 1.5 billion naira was saved by the administration.
And there's more to come on education, precisely from Benue State, as we'll be having joining us from our Abuja studio the Director General of the Benue State Education Quality Assurance Agency. We have that discussion coming up for you after this time out. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now joining us on the program from our Abuja studio is the Director General, Benue State Education Quality Assurance Agency, Dr. Turner Francis. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to start the conversation this way. It goes without saying that quality education is impossible without security of life and property. Your agency is new, so there's a lot to prove as per what should be done to create that conducive learning environment. What are your plans in this regard?
Thank you very much. The Benue State Education Quality Assurance Agency is that agency that has among its mandates ensuring a safe space for learners to be able to learn in a conducive environment, and teachers too should be able to have that environment where they can explore and give all that they are supposed to do. Now, the Benue State government has been very deliberate in terms of putting security measures, as you will have observed, since the assumption of office of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Yomem Alia, we have not been hearing so much of security breaches here and there. The governor has made deliberate efforts in trying to see that the entire state is protected, and of course, the school environment is well secured. So there are a lot of mechanisms that have been put in place, and a whole lot is going on. The 2024 budget has just been passed, and you will notice that unlike what has been happening in the past, this time around, out of the 225 billion naira passed by the State House of Assembly, education has taken 33.8 billion naira, which represents 15% of the entire sum. So it is to tell you that we are now very much serious about education. It's a digression, it's some form of a movement, a departure from that which has been in the past. We've never had this kind of thing in the past. And we are very serious this time around. The governor has promised that even the budget performance is going to be higher than what has been in the past.
So 33% is a huge number, a percentage of the budget. So
not 33%, 33.8 billion, not 33%.
Oh, sorry, 33.8 billion. Thank you for the clarification. That sum
representing 15%.
Yes, that sum combined with what you're asking from the federal government, from the SUBEB component, what would you be prioritizing in terms of infrastructure? Would it be training that would be seen to, you know, make a remarked difference in the education sector in Benue?
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to, first of all, appreciate the status quo, what His Excellency, the Governor of Benue State, came to meet. We came to meet a totally decayed sector. Education in Benue State in the past, what has been there in the past is nothing to write home about. And so this time around, we are looking at training of teachers. We are looking at recruiting, because we have just done a need assessment, and just for senior secondary school, we have seen that we need nothing less than 5,000 teachers. But then we want to strengthen the process, and we want to be sure of the quality of teachers that we want. It's not just about recruitment. We want to recruit teachers who will not come and appear to us as accidental teachers. We want people who are interested in teaching, who have the passion for teaching. So we are setting the criteria. We are raising the bar, we are standardizing. And you can see also that there is something very unique that His Excellency, the Governor of Benue, is doing. In the past, and it's still there, of course, because he met the backlog. In the past, teachers were relegated to the background. Some of them are owed 7 months' salary, 10 months' salary, and so on. But since the inception of this administration, every teacher receives his or her salary on the 25th of every month latest. So that is a departure from what has been there in the past. It is to tell you that we are committed to what we want for our children. We want an environment where the teachers are happy, because as the saying goes in Latin, nemo dat quod non habet. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot go to school when you don't have transport. You cannot teach when you are hungry. So His Excellency is already taking it from the root. Healing has to start from the root, and that is what we are doing now. In the days ahead, we are looking at renovating the buildings.
We are looking at providing water. We are looking at providing toilets. You go to some schools and you see that our learners are defecating just behind the classrooms. Teachers want to ease themselves and they don't have places where they can go and do that conveniently. So we are trying to see how we'll get these things done appropriately. We want to establish global best standards so that other people will come and learn from us in Benue.
We've got training there, training and renovation of schools that will be covered under the significant increase of budgetary allocation to education, 15%. I wonder if remuneration, improved remuneration, is contained there. While you're answering that, sir, I'd also like you to address this matter that we gleaned from the report about schools, ghost schools that the government discovered during its staff verification exercise. We've known about ghost teachers, ghost workers in government public service in the past, but ghost teachers is different. Tell us how they prosecute this and if the government will be investigating such that those responsible will be brought to book.
Yes, there are ghost schools in Benue State. I must tell you that one of the sectors that has experienced decay and massive corruption in Benue State in the past is education. There are schools that exist on paper, only on paper. You go to certain places and you are seeing it on paper that there are 6 schools in a particular location, in a district. And then on reaching there, you discover that you have just 1 or 2. It's the same thing that we have discovered also in the teachers. And I appreciate the effort that the executive chairman of the Benue State SUBEB is doing. She has put in place mechanisms to check all of this. She has brought very technically qualified people to go around and do census. In the past, we've not been having this kind of thing in Benue. It will amaze you that we don't have annual school census in Benue State. We don't have anybody taking care of data. As we speak right now, not even the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Education and Knowledge Management can tell you conveniently how many schools or how many teachers we really have in Benue State, whether private or public.
We must anchor the conversation at this point. Mr. Dr. Turner Francis, he's the Director General, Benue State Education Quality Assurance Agency. Thank you for joining us on the program. And more from our Newsroom series. The Kwara State government has recently registered 5 special purpose vehicles, SPVS, as part of its measures to acquire viable mining sites and make the state a major producer of solid minerals in Nigeria.
At a time most state governments are looking for ways to diversify their economies, a conference by the National Council on Mining and Mineral Resources Development seems apt, as the sector is often described as one rich enough to serve as a catalyst for economic growth. Kwara State in north-central Nigeria is rich in mineral resources such as gold, limestone, feldspar, marble, quartz, granite rocks, clay, kaolin, coal and much more. A reason why the state governor, Abdulrahman Abdul Razak, is commending the choice of the state to host the council's 5th conference, an annual event which draws delegates from across the federation, including members of the Kwara State Executive Council, being the host state. The governor is optimistic that resolutions reached here will rev up development in the sector.
We are honored to host this important meeting in our dear state, and we hope that all resolutions at the end of this meeting will be considered for further development of the solid mineral and steel sector. The need to diversify the economy and harness potentials in the solid mineral sector and other sectors cannot be overemphasized and requires the urgency of now. The excessive reliance on oil has proven to be unhelpful to our country, and I'm glad that we seem to appear to have learned our lessons.
Aside from the state-level delegates, the conference attracted mining professionals from the private and public sectors. One of the main speakers is the Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, who reiterates that the steel industry is the backbone of modern infrastructure and the foundation upon which other sectors thrive.
As Minister of State for Steel Development, I come to you with a message of opportunity, challenge, and bold ambition. We are at a pivotal moment in Nigeria's history. Our population is young, dynamic, and hungry for progress. Our resources, from the iron ore beneath our feet to the boundless talent within our borders, are unparalleled. Yet, in the words of Mr. President, we must harness these strengths strategically to build a future where prosperity is shared and where the benefits of our mineral wealth flow not just to a select few, but to every corner of this great nation.
Even with so much hope placed on the solid minerals sector, it's bedeviled by illegal mining, which has led to huge economic losses for the regions where the miners operate and the national purse.
Kwara can actually become a little London with what is here. So when I hear people say Kwara is a civil service state, I say to them, what you have in Kwara, put together, if properly annexed and the right things are done, none of the oil-rich states in Nigeria will compare to this place.
Nevertheless, many economists and industry experts believe that the decline of the solid minerals industry started with the discovery of oil to an extent that Nigeria became a monoproduct economy and vulnerable to international oil politics. Participants at this conference believe the time for revival is now.
And that's it on the program. Thank you for watching. I am Bukola Toka. Bye for now.